Here's the second thing. So it looks like this. If we're followed, we're first responders, and then we're first followers. This is what Laura was talking about. We're first followers. Now, I gotta show you this video, and I'm gonna have to hold my computer up. I'm so sorry. I've got the volume cranked, and I'm really hoping you can hear it. I love TED Talks. If you've never heard of TED Talks, how are you still living? Okay, so before I hit play, can y'all tell me if you can see that? Yes, you can. It's going to go really fast. This is a 3-minute long TED Talk, okay? I can't do this a lot, so can I just
Tilt it back.
when you get your Right Now Media topic, whatever thing that you'll get to, recap this video is already in that. So you better watch it again, okay? All right, here we go.
So ladies and gentlemen, at TED we talk a lot about leadership and how to make a movement. So let's watch a movement happen, start to finish, in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons from it. First, of course you know, a leader needs the guts to stand out and be ridiculed. But what he's doing is so easy to follow. So here's his first follower with a crucial role. He's going to show everyone else how to follow. Now notice that the leader embraces him as an equal. So now it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Now there he is calling to his friends. Now if you notice that the first follower is actually an underestimated form of leadership in itself. It takes guts to stand out like that. The first follower is what transforms a lone nut into a leader. And here comes a second follower. Now it's not a lone nut, it's not 2 nuts, 3 is a crowd, and a crowd is news. So a movement must be public. It's important to show not just the leader, but the followers, because you find that new followers emulate the followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, and immediately after, 3 more people. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point. Now we've got a movement. So, notice that as more people join in, it's less risky. So those that were sitting on the fence before now have no reason not to. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, but they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. So, over the next minute, you'll see all of the those that prefer to stick with the crowd, because eventually they would be ridiculed for not joining in. And that's how you make a movement. But let's recap some lessons from this. So first, if you are the type, like the shirtless dancing guy, that is standing alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals. So it's clearly about the movement, not you. Okay, but we might have missed the real lesson here. The biggest lesson, if you noticed, did you catch it? Is that leadership is over-glorified. That yes, it was the shirtless guy was first, and he'll get all the credit, but it was really the first follower that transformed the lone nut into a leader. So as we're told that we should all be leaders, that would be really ineffective. If you really care about starting a movement, have the courage to follow and show others how to follow. And when you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to stand up and join in. And what a perfect place to do that at TED. Thanks.
So, one of the things that we value at the gathering is bold faith. You have our core values on that rack card. We value bold faith. The big things that we have, that we believe God can do, the big things, like, say, a building, right? Oh, big things. The big things happen when we're followed. They happen when we're first in, last out. So Laura mentioned the 200K. Listen, the longer you're at the gathering, the more you'll figure this out. We try not to tell you because I want you to think I'm amazing. But if you ask John, he'll tell you that I don't really have a plan. My plan is to hear Jesus and to follow him. That's my plan. So I don't have a 5-year plan for the gathering. I'm not even sure I have a 2-year plan. Some days John would say, I don't think he has a 1-day plan. I mean, it's literally, God, what are you telling us to do? That what's next, that vision thing, that's the most me that I can think of. And sometimes I hate to question what's next because I don't know if I have an answer for it. But big things happen because I relate to the lone nut, and if you've seen me dance, then you know that was probably me on the hill dancing. But what I crave are first followers. What I crave are people who say, you know what, I can get behind that. So this 200K thing, you know, forever it was 100K, and it was maybe we should do that, and then all of a sudden I just got this brilliant idea from God that we should just prayer walk our city. And I remember telling the staff, like, wouldn't it be awesome if the historic district was actually 2.5K? Because then we could do that for 40 days, and that'd be whatever it was, 100K, right? And then I measured, and it was 2.5 miles. Holy smokes, that's a lot more than 2.5K. Well, let's just do 200K. Why not? You know? And so I'm doing 200K. And that's why I'm sitting, because in the last 5 days, I've run like 45 miles. It's crazy. Anyway. But if I am just running 200K to run our city, then I am a lone nut, right? Something happens when people say, it's not about me, it's not about my pride, it's not about me getting glory. I'm just going to be the first follower. Paul's crazy. And I'm going to be crazy with him. And we're going to believe God to do something big because we value bold faith at the gathering. And so when a leader has a vision from God and people have the courage to be first followers with that vision, that the business world calls that synergy. I just call it awesome, right? And before the business world called it synergy, a candy company already knew what that was about. They already knew, like, if you took one good thing and put it with another good thing, it could be something amazing together. And so I'm just curious, how many of you have you've already done the course, like the 200K? Can you keep your hand up for a second? Because we're just going to come hand you a Reese's cup, because, you know, chocolate peanut butter. Come on, people. Chocolate and peanut butter coming together. And this is all the more reason to go walk the course without giving them candy, right? Oh, yeah.
To those leaders that didn't raise their hands, I think it's a big deal in leadership, not even just walking it, but you having the bold faith to talk about it. So not all of us are going to be able to get out and run it and walk it, but just talking about it in your communities, having the bold faith to say, hey, my church is doing this. Look at this. Will you pray with me? Will you stand and pray? That's just as strong as running or walking, because that, you don't know where that goes in your community too. So that speaks volumes of leadership too, and that's something to be said about all the different facets of leadership. You might be that one that's out running and doing it every day, but you might be that one that's not, but you're talking about it constantly. And there's something bold to be said about that too.
Yeah, there is. And I'm glad you see, you and Laura are like, you're so on my wavelength. That was the next thing for me to ask.
Sorry.
No, it's so good. It's all so good. You're a first follower, and it's even more critical. So you, those of you that raise your hand, because you've done it. But I'm just curious, how many of you don't raise your hand again? You don't get a second one. Unless we have enough. We're good. But how many of you have done what Eric was talking about? You've said, you told people about it. Like, this is what our church is doing, whether you've walked it or not. Just raise your hand, and if we have enough. Very much if you haven't gotten a Reese's cup yet, we'll get y'all first. Okay? I said if you hadn't gotten one, not you still don't have one. But Joe walked it down like that. Because you walked it this morning, you're like, I need some nourishment. Keep your hand up. If you've shared it with somebody, told somebody about it yet, please keep your hand up. Because what I want you to see is leadership is not always about doing, right? What did we say at the very beginning? Leadership is not a position, it's a trust. It's influence, right? And so here's another example. And he's not here because Adam's sick. He's at home with a fever. But here's another example of first follower, okay? So Adam and I ran it the other day, And he'll watch this later on, so he'll love this part. I just love the fact that I can outrun Adam. This is awesome. I mean, he's probably faster than me. He definitely schooled me in basketball, but I kicked his butt on the course, right, running. It was awesome. I love you, Adam. Of course, now they're realizing he was probably already getting sick. That's what it was.
Oh, gotta do it again next week.
Yeah, I'll beat him again. But when we got done, he was sharing with me what God's been showing him as he's talked about the 200K and as we were running, and I said, man, that's so good, Adam. Will you do me a favor? And he said, what? I said, will you post that on the 200K group on Facebook? And he was like, yeah. Why? Because right now it's just me. But if somebody else will post, everybody else will too. So guess what's happening now? Everybody else is posting. It's fantastic. Now, maybe that would have happened anyway, but somebody's got to be the first follower. I don't want you to miss that, okay? It doesn't sound super spiritual, but it is. 1 Corinthians 11:1. You'll see this when you get your Right Now Media recap. Paul said, anybody know this one by heart? It's a good one to memorize. I'll start it and you can finish it. Paul said, follow me as if I follow Christ. Paul said, we're all following Jesus. We're all first followers. It's a spiritual principle. We're all first followers. Even me. I'm following Jesus, right? I'm not the leader. I'm the first follower too. It's a really, really important principle.